As a football player who is aspiring to take their game to the very highest of levels, it is so important to look after yourself and your body so that you can constantly be training and improving your capabilities on a regular basis. This is why, as an aspiring pro, I have picked up some new and very healthy habits which allow me to train 5+ days per week on the training pitch and in the gym. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of these habits that I have committed to in my life, which has made it much easier to be able to complete all of this training at a constant and unstoppable rate without needing random, unnecessary rest days in between. These are habits that have helped me to become a better and stronger player, but have also upgraded the overall quality of my life. I would highly recommend that you watch this entire video so that you can learn more about these 5 habits and introduce them to your own lives as well. So at number 1 on this list, and one of the healthiest habits you can get yourself into, is waking up early and going to bed early. When you are consistently waking up early in the mornings and going to bed early in the evenings, you are setting yourself up so well to having highly productive days and prioritizing your sleep in such a healthy way that your daily energy levels will be at an all-time high. This is going to benefit you so much in the long term if you can keep doing this, because due to your increased energy levels early on in the morning, you are going to feel much more motivated for the day ahead, and your mood will also be elevated. And as a football player that trains early on in the morning, this is perfect because you will now have very high energy for training, meaning you are going to train harder and better. And also, due to your high motivation, your consistency for training daily will be at its best. Also, when you are waking up early and in a good sleep cycle, your mood, mental health, and brain functions are all going to elevate. You will begin to feel less stressed, anxious, and depressed, and this is again going to positively impact your footballing abilities. The reason being is that due to your more frequently positive state of mind and an increase in your mood, when it comes to playing football, training, or game days, you are going to be feeling much more relaxed about it and in a more excitable state of mind. And this state of mind is going to bring out the best of your abilities as you'll be playing more freely with less pressure to perform and a lot more confidence. This is because you are in a heightened vibration. Whereas if you were perhaps in a poor sleeping cycle, waking up late and with less quality hours of sleep, it is much more likely that you are going to be in a lower state of mind with less energy and feeling unmotivated. This can then have drastically negative effects on your abilities as a player, because when you do train or play games, you will not train or play to the best of your abilities, or worse even, due to the fact you have had poor quality sleep and are now feeling tired and unmotivated, it is much more likely for you to decide to skip it altogether so you can go back to bed, which is then going to set you back further and allow your competition to get another day ahead of you. It is a difficult habit to introduce yourself to, waking up early and going to bed early, but if you can get yourself into it and it becomes your new normal, you are going to see major benefits in your overall abilities to perform and also in your everyday life as well. Prioritize your sleep, get into a healthy sleep cycle, and watch as you begin to level up. Now you understand the importance of getting into a healthy sleeping routine and how it will affect your performance as a player, we can now talk about the next best habit to get right, which is sticking to your diet. Firstly, what we want to make sure that the foods we are eating on a daily basis are overall healthy and designed to make you a better player, and that we are prioritizing consuming foods that will allow us to perform better. This is going to be foods such as chicken, turkey, and eggs for protein, rice, pasta, and brown bread for carbs, Greek yogurt, avocados, and peanut butter for fats. And also making sure you are having a good range of fruits and veg as well. Now, I have already spoken about and shown what happens when you take your nutrition seriously, and that includes how the meals I ate and the types of food I had been consuming enhanced my performance as a player, and also the physical and mental benefits I experienced when doing so. And that is in this video right here. So if you want to find out more about that, then I will leave a link in the description. But for today's video, and this habit in particular, we are going to be talking about why it is so important to stick to your diet you have planned, and how by doing so, this will further allow you to train consistently 5+ days per week. By consistently sticking to all of the meals you have planned out without going off track, you are allowing your body to get into a repetitive cycle of optimal functionality. This is going to benefit you in many great ways, which will have an important role in your footballing performance. Some of these benefits include weight management, reducing the risk of diseases, and removing cravings for high sugar foods. Now, when it comes to weight management, by sticking to your diet exactly and over a long period of time, it's going to become much easier to be able to maintain the weight that you want to be at, because you now know exactly what you are consuming on a daily basis and how much you should be consuming as well. This weight management is important because it is going to have a big impact on how you perform and to the level of ease your body can move at. If you are sitting at a good weight for your specific position and play style, and your diet is making it easy to maintain that weight, then your performance as a player should not be hindered or made negative due to what you are consuming. However, if you sway away from what you are meant to be eating in your diet, then it is harder to track what you are taking in, and also this can lead to developing bad habits and inconsistencies, which can then tempt you into going away from your diet again and again. And as you do this over time, it becomes much more likely for you to put on weight that you shouldn't have, then causing you to play heavier and slower than you usually would. Reducing the risks of diseases is a no-brainer really, because you can't play if you are sick, and then for the entire time that you are sick, you won't be able to be improving or training. Not only will this affect your future as a player, but it will also hinder your overall health. So find a diet that works for you and stick to it. And the last benefit of sticking to your diet that I would like to highlight is removing cravings for high sugar foods. Now, I'm going to go into more depth with why you should avoid sugar as much as possible in another video soon. But the reason you don't want to be getting sugar cravings is because it is the most addictive substance in the world. And as soon as you get even just a small taste of sugar, you are going to be wanting more and more and more. And this can lead you down a really dark rabbit hole if you are not careful. We can also link this back to weight management and how if you are always having high sugar cravings, then it is a much more difficult job for yourself to stay at the weight you want to be. Also, high sugar is going to massively impact your fitness in a negative way, and then therefore impact your ability to perform as a player. Sticking to your healthy diet that is low in sugar is going to remove those sugar cravings, and it's going to make life much easier for you to stay fit and stay performance ready. You've got to get this habit right, because it can soon go wrong and set you back as a player and send you spiraling downwards. One of the best habits that I have picked up along my journey so far has been completing a morning stretching routine and also a nighttime stretching routine. When it comes to training 5+ days per week, it has been so important to make sure my legs are always in the best possible condition that they can be in. And doing this much training on a constant basis can make it much more likely for you to pick up an injury. However, after implementing a morning and nighttime stretch routine, my muscles and tendons became much more flexible and relaxed, which then made it less likely to experience strains, sprains, and other muscle injuries. So I could train 5+ days per week, every single week, and train my hardest as well, without worrying about possible injuries. Due to this flexibility as well, there was also an increase in the range of motion I could produce in my legs, and then due to this improved flexibility and range of motion, there was massive improvements in my athletic performance. I was able to run faster, kick higher, stretch further, and felt an overall springiness in my legs as well. And with my performance as a player being enhanced by this daily habit and becoming less injury prone, there was another major benefit to this, which had huge reasons to why I could train 5+ days per week. And that was the benefits that it had on my body's ability to recover after exercise and training. By doing this morning and nighttime stretch routine, my muscles felt much more relaxed and less tense all the time, which had really great aid in reducing muscle stiffness and soreness after training. And then with the increase in blood flow as well after the stretching stimulated more blood circulation, there was a quicker recovery response time to the affected muscles where the blood was able to carry more oxygen and nutrients for muscle repair. So just by doing a 5-minute stretching routine once in the morning and once at night, these are the benefits that can be gained, and this is how you can make sure you are physically able to be training 5+ days per week. I would highly recommend doing this and making it a part of your daily routines because it might just be a game changer for you. Being able to train 5+ days per week is excellent, and being able to do this is going to really increase your rate of development as a player. But what we want to do and what we want to make sure is that we are able to continuously do this week in and week out so that we can increase the chances of reaching the levels we want. To do this, we're going to make it an absolute must that after we have finished our training for the day and we are safely back at home, that we complete a well-structured recovery routine. I cannot stress this enough, but if you want to be training as much as 5 days per week, then it is an absolute necessity that you are completing your recovery routines after training. You need to be relaxing your muscles, preventing the lactic acid buildup, and giving your legs the best chance at full recovery before it is time to go and train again. And this cannot be a one day off in between kind of thing. This is an essential part of your daily routines if you want to be training for this many days per week. And I can promise you from my own experience that the day that you decide to slack on your recovery and skip it, the next morning for training is not going to be fun at all, because you are going to have some of the stiffest legs you have had in a little while. From my own example, every single morning after I'd completed my recovery routine the previous day, I felt fresh in my legs, nice and mobile and ready to go again. This kept me nice and motivated for every single session to come, because there was never a point where I was questioning whether I was physically able to complete the upcoming training. Now, for someone who is not so serious and is maybe training 2 times per week, I would still say that it is important to get some recovery work done after the sessions, but then again, they would have the rest of the days in that week to relax and recover steadily. However, for those players that are serious and are committing themselves to the hard work and intense level of training, then it is so important to maintain the discipline and consistency of carrying out their recovery routines after every single training session. Remember, one small slip up can have a serious effect and potentially set you back, so make sure you get this habit right. For the final habit on this list that I believe has helped me to constantly train hard 5+ days per week is supplementing creatine. Now, this is a personal choice that I have gone with because I had done my research about it and liked the look of what it could do for me. In my opinion, I would recommend serious ballers to supplement creatine, and here is why. After creating the habit of using creatine daily, I experienced some amazing benefits in overall health and my performance as an athlete and football player. As I was consistently consuming the creatine, I was experiencing a drastic increase in overall energy levels on a daily basis. This is because the creatine was directly aiding my muscles and providing them with more energy, which allowed my muscles to be less fatigued during high-intensity football training or gym work, and meant that when I did train or go to the gym, I could tolerate heavier loads and heavier sessions. That increased energy boost was on a constant basis due to supplementing the creatine daily, and this meant that each time I woke up in the morning, I was feeling energized, body feeling fresh, and my mood and motivation to train was always high as well. Another thing is that the creatine I was supplementing was quite evidently aiding my physical appearance, as there was a crazy difference in my body's muscle mass and strength. Due to how the creatine was fueling my body's muscles, it was allowing me to train extremely hard and for a longer period of time as well. This made the workouts and training sessions I was completing a lot easier, and I could then up the levels of all of my training and progress faster to an even better level as a player. Now, one thing I will say is that because the creatine is aiding the body to build more muscle mass, there may be a slight increase in your body weight. However, like I said earlier with habit number 2 about your diet and weight management, if you are sticking to your diet and staying disciplined with it, then the use of this creatine should not have a major increase on your body weight. But you will see it make your muscles stronger, better, and more well equipped for high levels of football and sport. The last point I want to make about this habit, and probably the main reason why this habit allowed me to train 5+ days per week, is due to the creatine's enhancement in the body's recovery and repair. One of creatine's main function is to provide the muscles with energy and strength for recovery and repair. Your body produces around 1 gram of creatine naturally per day, all in support of the muscle's energy needed to live day-to-day life. However, when you supplement this creatine on a daily basis, that will take your creatine production up to around 5 to 6 grams per day. This is going to mean that 5 to 6 times the amount of energy you would normally get for muscle repair is going to be going into your muscles for the same purpose on a daily basis. Therefore, when it comes to training 5+ days per week, your body is going to have an abundance of fuel for strength and recovery, making it a much easier job for the muscles to continuously repair and recover, which will then again make it no problem to be training for all this time during the week. I can easily say that my experience whilst using creatine has been a very positive one, and I would definitely recommend it if you also believe that this is something that would work for you. So these are 5 habits that I've implemented in my daily routine as an aspiring professional football player. And the evidence that these habits have been working is all in the fact that for the past 2 years now, my body has been fit and able without breaking down or needing extended periods of rest time to complete 5+ days of training per week. I hope you guys have learned a lot from this video today, and that it is something you guys can come back to when needing guidance in the future. I want to thank you all for watching, and just know that many more videos like this are scheduled to come out very soon. So if you would like to continue to learn what it takes to become unstoppable and take your game to the best level it can be, then hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Again, thank you for watching, and just remember that greatness is unstoppable.